Hey friends, I'm Dan Phelps, and this is The Joy of Recording. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about putting together a small but powerful rig for recording yourself at home, or really anywhere, because the amazing thing is that a full-fledged recording setup can fit in a backpack these days. If you don't have any recording gear and you're wondering where to start, or perhaps you've bought a few things but you're not sure if you have everything that you need, this video is for you. So let's jump in. To begin with, you're going to need a computer, probably a laptop of some kind that's powerful enough to run a DAW, that's a digital audio workstation. That's the software that you'll use to record yourself. Most any new laptop is capable of doing this, but in general, the faster the processor speed and as much RAM as you can afford to put in, all the better. You'll need an audio interface. When I am out of my home studio recording somewhere remotely, I still use an Apogee Duet that I've had for probably about 2 decades. It works great, it's super solid, the mic pre's sound really good. You're also going to need something to monitor with, and if you're on the go, that's probably going to be headphones. I personally love the Beyerdynamic DT770 headphones. They sound good, they're really comfortable to wear, and they don't fatigue my ears over a long period of usage. I always say that you can get a lot done with 2 microphones, and I like to recommend some really solid, all-around, high-quality mics that aren't super expensive. One of my favorites is the Shure SM7. If you've watched any of my videos, you've probably seen it or heard me talk about it. This mic is great on electric guitar cabs, great for vocals. It works really well on a bass drum, snare drum, and you can even record acoustic instruments in a pinch if you need to. And I would pair that with either a mid-level condenser microphone or a ribbon microphone. For my tastes, I lean more towards vintagey, warm sounds. I like using a ribbon microphone, such as this Shiny Box ribbon microphone, built here in the great state of Washington. This mic would be great for acoustic instruments, for drum overhead, could be a good room mic on a guitar cab, or a good single guitar mic, maybe a foot or 2 away from the cab if you want a bit more of a naturalistic, airy kind of sound. For instance, here's a drum sound that I got with the SM7 on kick and the Shiny Box as an overhead. Don't forget XLR cables, maybe some guitar cables, a couple of mic stands, the kind of accoutrement that can sometimes fall by the wayside if you're not thinking through all the steps of what you need to record. Now, this setup can get you really far. This can be your Bon Iver, I'm going to go to a cabin in the middle of nowhere and make my masterpiece record setup, especially if you're just recording yourself and you can move the microphones around and basically use 2 mics for all of your different recording setups. I'd recommend, if possible, dialing in a really good drum sound and then tracking drums for all of your tunes. If you dial in a really good vocal sound, try to record vocals for all your songs, or at least several songs at the same time, just for efficiency's sake, and that way you're not continually going back trying to capture the same sound again. Don't be afraid to experiment. Move mics around, especially when you're recording with only 2 mics. There are some best practices, but there aren't a ton of hard and fast rules, and depending on what room you're in and what instruments you're using, it can vary greatly. So just use your ears and do the best that you can. And if you're primarily a musician and not an engineer, really your focus needs to be on your musical creativity, writing great material, and performing really well, because nobody wants to listen to an amazing recording of a crummy song that's performed in a lackluster way, but everybody will connect to a great song that's performed very well, recorded in a so-so way. There's a lot of things you can do with sound and post-production in order to bring it up to snuff, but you can't really fix an unexciting performance of a so-so song. If you're just getting started, I've created a really helpful guide and checklist to make sure that you get everything that you need in order to get recording, because there's nothing worse than thinking you've got everything and then finding out you're missing some USB cable or a dongle or something like that. So I'll put the link to that in the show notes below. If this has been helpful for you, please comment in the comments below. Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. Click the subscribe and the bell icon below so that you are notified when I upload new videos. And if there's something specific you'd like to see me cover in this channel in the future, please feel free to send me an email or just about anything at all at hello@danphelps.com. Thanks a bunch. I'll see you next week.